Listen to this controversy here. Former CBS staffers are reportedly calling for an independent investigation after the network aired two different answers to the same question during a 60 Minutes interview with Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, the first version aired during a promotional clip on Sunday night, while the second, shorter answer aired during 60 Minutes on Monday. Listen to both back to back.
It seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Wow. Joe Concha is a Fox News contributor, joins us now. Joe, I want to be crystal clear about something. This is not a thing that we do in the media. Yes, you may not always air the full answer to a question, but you never, ever put the answer to question B with question A. So why would the esteemed journalists at the paragon of virtue, 60 Minutes, think they could get away with such a thing?
I keep reading so-called media reporters defending this, like, who've never worked, by the way, ever in an actual newsroom, saying, oh, this is very common to do this. No. Why, if you're CBS News, would you promote 60 Minutes with a clip of Kamala Harris saying one thing and then during the interview not play that clip and air something completely different? Oh, that's right. The clip you promoted made her look horrible, as what usually happens when she's outside of a teleprompter. And then the clip that you actually played was something that made her sound a bit more competent, I guess. Either way, it's very simple, Todd, if you're CBS News. Release the entire interview on CBSNews.com. Let everyone see it from start to finish without any edits, any jump cuts. And while you're at it, release the transcript as well. But CBS, they only released the transcript of the edited portion of the video. Why is that, CBS? We don't know, because Fox News has reached out to CBS News to say, why aren't you releasing the whole interview? And they won't even respond. This is the same news division that screams about the importance of transparency, and they're being anything but transparent here. I mean, this is journalistic malfeasance. And now the story is far less about Kamala's actual answer after the edit and much more about 60 Minutes and their ethics or lack thereof. And this completely justifies Donald Trump's decision to not do this interview on CBS, because they would have edited him the exact opposite way. They would have taken him and put him in the worst light, because that's CBS News these days. It's the exact opposite of what it was under Edward R. Murrow and Walter Cronkite. That is certainly for sure.
Well, both things that she said may have been part of the same answer, but it may have been edited for time. We don't know, but certainly the answer that aired on 60 Minutes was cleaned up. So I guess the way to solve answer all these questions is to, like you said, release a transcript. Okay, so there's another controversy facing CBS. CBS Morning interviewed Ta-Nehisi Coates, who's a progressive activist. He's also an author, has a book out that's highly critical of Israel. He takes the side of the Palestinians. And one of the people to conduct this interview is Tony Dokoupil, who is Jewish. His ex-wife and two of his kids, I believe, live in Israel. So he asked Ta-Nehisi Coates some challenging questions. And because of this, it caused so much controversy in CBS. They conducted this internal investigation over his line of questioning. He ultimately was reprimanded as a result of what he said during the interview. So let's take a listen to a portion of the interview, followed by a CBS executive talking to staffers about what they called a controversy that transpired on air. Watch this.
And it's what I struggled with throughout this book. What is it that so particularly offends you about the existence of a Jewish state that is a Jewish safe place and not any of the other states out there?
There's nothing that offends me about a Jewish state. I am offended by the idea of states built on ethnocracy, no matter where they are.
We will still ask tough questions. We will still hold people accountable, but we will do so objectively. And that means, very plainly, we have to check our bias and opinions at the door.
Joe?
how utterly laughable by Adrian Rourke there. Tony Dokoupil was thrown under the bus in front of his colleagues on that call that you just played, called morally wrong, had the wrong tone with Coates, simply for asking solid questions to an author who believes Israel is an apartheid state. So if Tony Dokoupil, if he had the means, I guess he'd be like, all right, I'm out of here. I'm not going to work for this network anymore. But he has a family. I get it. He apologized. He had nothing to apologize for.
All right. Fox and Friends now. Thanks, Joe.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.